Hi, my name is Matt and welcome to the Open Mic Room. Each episode I'll be speaking with a different guest to share some stories and discuss their music. So in today's episode I'm speaking with Celina Rescott. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderfully, Matt. Thank you. How about you?
So there's a slight structure to the podcast. I like to structure it like a 3-song open mic. So to start things off,
Okay.
if we only heard one song to summarise you as an artist, which of your original songs would that be?
Ooh, I like this question. Okay. And to be perfectly honest with the listeners here, you did send me these questions in advance, and I briefly glanced at them and then forgot about them. So now I am answering this on the
Oh
spot.
no.
Um, I think, well, once you said it, I was like, oh, yeah, I do remember him sending that one. And I thought about it and I was like, I don't really know. So I think right now, if I were to answer this question, I want to say that I'm Not Me is a song that I have released and I think might be the one that I would respond to that. And I say that because it's very indicative of where I'm currently at as a recording artist, as a performing artist, because it combines both the writing that I had done prior to working with a band and then the writing that now happens when I'm with my band. So I had started that song 2 or 3 years ago in my little song notebook that I first started writing music in. And it had a wholly different sound to it initially. And it also was, it had some other stuff in it that ended up getting taken out. And then parts of something else I had written got pulled into it. Um, and so it started out just on the piano song. And what's funny is when I originally wanted to write an EP, I was just going to do it solo. But then the band came about. And so that's how then my EP got released. Though this didn't end up being on the EP, it was something afterwards. And I have recorded videos of this song as I had written it on the piano. And I've seen that recently, and it's completely transformed from how I initially envisioned it to what it turned into. So I'm gonna choose "I'm Not Me." It's a really good, fun poppy sort of sounding song, and it has elements of myself, the way I write words, the way that I express vocally, and it also has a really big component of the band that I have behind me and
Right.
their expertise as musicians.
That-
Like I said, I talk a lot,
No.
so there's a long story short.
No, that's brilliant. Thanks for that. So that sounds like an excellent song to kick things off. There's someone coming across you for the first time, if they were to hear that, they'd get an accurate representation of what you do now. How would you describe your genre then? You just said
I think so, yeah.
you said poppy. How else would you describe what you do?
It it is poppy in nature, in the way that sometimes we structure the songs, where it'll have, that chorus that's pretty memorable, and verses that follow that. But as we've started to write a little more, sometimes the structure does get a little bit more funky and indie. So it's definitely more like indie pop rock, because it also definitely has a rock edge to it. And if you go through the stuff that I do have released, I would say maybe the most recent one, Screaming My Name, and then My Worst Enemy, have definitely a more rocky component to them. Very cinematic in nature too. Some of my influences are Celine Dion, Lady Gaga, that have these just very powerful voices, and really some of the stuff behind the music, or excuse me, behind the lyrics that are happening, is very like monumental
Mm.
feeling, which just is sort of that cinematic element, I think, my music has as well.
So, what is the process of writing songs for you now? Now that you're part of a band, is it mainly you writing the lyrics, or is it a joint effort?
Lyrics wise, that is always me for the most part. I think anything, yeah, yeah, I'm doing all the lyric writing. And so each song that we write has come out in a different way. Maybe I'll go in with an idea, and I have lyrics, I have a melody, I have kind of this fully formed idea of what I want it to be. And then the guys in my band, and now another girl that's been at it as well, will just sort of like add on parts to that. But then there's other times, I mean, I think we were in the rehearsal room the other day, that all I have right now is a melody, and we just sort of played around with that, and there's no idea for what I want the lyrics of the song to be yet. And so I'm still kind of perseverating on what that may end up being. Wow, I really like that word. Great word, Selena. Um,
Yeah.
and so it really just depends. Sometimes the lyrics will come first, and then I will bring that in and we'll work with that. Or sometimes there's just music and words will come to me through that.
Mm.
So there's never a straightforward process. It's
No.
always a little meandering stream.
I find it interesting. Everyone's process is different. Quite often, the lyrics, I think,
Hmm.
usually tend to come first. I find for people because they've got something on their chest that they want to get off. But um, I suppose
Hmm.
when you've got a band, you're always jamming together and coming up with different melodies. So, is that
Yeah,
right?
and it's kind of interesting in that sometimes, like I have a notes app in my phone with all lyrics, different ideas for songs. And so sometimes what will happen is they're playing something, and what the music is doing will inspire me either A, to pull from something that I already have, and it's, oh, okay, these words actually match in here. Or um, I think My Worst Enemy, I just started pulling stuff out of my head. I was gonna say, the other
Be a
thing
friend.
that you pull stuff out of, but I don't really know if this is kosher, so for that. But that one, I did have some lyrics for part of that came from my phone, but I believe the chorus, they were just jamming one day, and I just started pulling stuff out of thin air. And it's cool because music can move you in that way, and it can help you to feel inspired in that way, just based on what's happening is will what bring lyrics to mind for me.
Mm, brilliant. So, I I next wanted to uh, get to know you a bit better. Um, so where did it all start for you in music? Can you remember right at the beginning when you started writing songs?
Well, writing songs didn't come until later. But I started out with piano lessons as a kid, and I was always singing when I was taking piano lessons. I got involved in theater, and so I was always singing other people's music. All my life, I never really felt that I had anything worth saying. The idea of songwriting to me was just completely elusive. I didn't think that I could do it. And then when I got into latter years of life, I want to say the first time I ever kind of wrote something was when I lived in Boston, which was 5, 6 years ago. Um, but it didn't seem like anything I would continue doing. It was more just something fun.
Yeah.
And then once I found my way into the music scene here in San Diego, I really started um, writing more. I think just because I was around it more and because I saw more people doing it, I felt that I could actually do it. And I think maybe the first song that I no, the first song I finished was one I've never released. It's called People Never Leave Us. And I did record it. It's on SoundCloud. I did it with actually my um, piano teacher that taught me in my youth. She played the piano on it. And so I think that was the first song that I ever just fully wrote. And then from there, I think Nights Like These was the um, first song that I released. And that's when sort of the bug hit of, oh, okay, this is something I can do. And this is something that I can continue doing. So it's only been within the past uh, 3, 4 years or so that I've really um, done songwriting and turned songs into full productions.
A couple of points from that. I wanted to ask about
Hmm.
when you say you fell into the music scene in San Diego. What
Hmm.
does that actually mean for you? What were you actually doing at the time?
Well, I got on this path of being a musician
Mm.
in a little bit of a roundabout way, as I'm sure many of us do. But I came from the corporate world and used to work 9 to 5, and music was always just something that was fun that I did. I always wanted to perform, but I never really quite found the opportunities to. And when I was working one of my jobs here in San Diego, the HR director got me into this little showcase that she was doing. So I just played a show on the piano, and I don't believe I had written anything at that time. So I think I just played some songs that I knew how to sing. And from there, I actually then met this guy that had seen me perform, and he asked me to join his rock band. And I joined his rock band, which to me, I'd never been in a band before. Someone said, "Do you want to sing?" And I was like, heck yeah, sure, definitely. And so that was like really my first leap into it. And so I fronted that rock band here for about a year and a half, and then went separate ways from that. And now I had the experience and decided to make my own band. And I only knew the 4 piece rock band at that time. So I was just like, okay, I know I need a drummer, I know I need a guitarist, and I know I need a bassist. Cool,
Mm.
let's do it. And so that got started. Um, in January of last year, and
Wow.
now I play with them. I've played with this other little girl group because my band wasn't available one time, and we got asked to play last minute, and I was like, "Hey, you're a drummer. Hey, you're a keyboardist." And then came the Celina Rescott and the Gems, which was like this little girl band trio that we play with every now and then too. And so it's just been another meandering stream of what I'm doing with music.
Brilliant. Are you still in the corporate world, 9 to 5, or have you escaped?
Nope, I am no longer.
Uh,
My life is anything but 9 to 5.
Congratulations.
Some days could be 12 till 12. Some days are, I don't even know. It's all across the map of what it is and how I'm spending my
Yeah.
time. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. No longer being in that regimen. Um, I make my money in all sorts of
Yeah.
ways.
Once
That sounds very interesting, but not in any kind of crazy way.
no, once you leave the 9 to 5 system, you never want to go back, do you? Um,
Yeah. it, there's certain times when I think, oh wow, it would be nice to be back in that more simple, more structured way of being. But I'm an artist, I get really bored with monotony and I always have to change it up. And so it is nice having uh,
Freedom.
each week look a little bit different. Yeah, and the freedom to do that.
Brilliant. For the middle song of the open mic, I bring the mood down a little bit
Hmm.
with what I call the sad
Hmm.
song society, because sad songs are my favorite favorite type. Um, do you do you have a particular song of yours that you would call a sad song?
So here's the thing. I have a couple of things to say about this. The answer is yes. And when I used to write, I think it was always sad because it's almost the easiest thing to write and to write from. But then if you look at my released music, it's not necessarily very sad. And I think what happened is I used to perform and I used to perform and sing a lot of sad songs, and people would say, "Well, can you play something more
Yeah.
upbeat?" And I was like, "Sure, I guess." I love singing this stuff. So actually, and what I'm gonna do now is I have this one
Oh, great.
song I have to reposition here that I have yet to release, but would love to at some point. And I'm just going to play you a little
Great.
bit
Thank you for
of
that.
it because this is one of the songs that I'm really, really excited about and I've always loved. And it is very somber, but I have nothing released about it yet. Um, I've only ever performed it. So this is called Lifelong Friend. Hopefully, the sound will pick up pretty well for you guys.
Loneliness has become my friend, convinced she'll be here till the end. A wicked soul, she knows no bounds. A shadow follows me all around. No choice, it seems to me. She'll be with me, a lifelong friend. The friend I never wanted, but always there to see. I'm destined to be haunted by the fear that's deep within, hiding away till I let it in.
Just that little bit of it.
That was beautiful.
So that, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Eventually, maybe I can release it and you'll have to go and listen to the full song.
That was lovely. So what's that one called? Lifelong friend.
Thank you. Lifelong friend. Yeah. And it's about loneliness and
Yeah.
making friends with loneliness, which is pretty sad.
Yes. Loneliness has become my friend. And then like you refer to loneliness as another being within the song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's one that I've definitely drawn upon and worked on in times when I have found myself in those states of feeling very lonely. I've kind of felt that it's a feeling that always sits there a little bit in the back of my mind, on the side of my shoulder. And so it was very hard to deal with for certain times in my life, but making friends with it
Mm,
and more so accepting its presence has been easier to manage rather than fighting it as much,
mm,
I think. And so that's sort of the essence of the song there. And the release of it, it always feels really good to perform that. Anytime I've just been able to play that on the keys, a nice grand piano, it really does something for me, and I think the audience as well.
yeah. So I imagine it was a tough time for you when you moved. Was it 5, 6 years ago from Boston? It,
You
was that
know,
one of those moments?
it was before that. Moving to San Diego was kind of like a marcation. I might have just made up that word. A market separation, I think, between that more difficult time in my life and to coming into a little bit more happiness and joy in my life, actually. Um, One, it was exciting to do something really new and big. Unfortunately, my sister had been living here, so I had her to rely on. But I, when I wrote that, I drew upon more of the times in my life prior. Um, Out of
Mm,
college and into Boston era was a little bit more of a sad time for me, and I pulled a lot upon that. Um, and then though that was more of like the peak where I really had a lot of struggles in my life.
oh, really?
Um, it's always sort of, again, like sat more so there in the background and it sort of carried through. And so that was this song, Lifelong Friend, is more about making peace with that feeling and um, acceptance, as I
Mm,
said, with that. And why then it's been a little bit more easy to manage and easier to live with when I
right.
think of it as an unwanted friend, but someone who's just going to be there.
Yeah. What's been the toughest part of being a musician for you so far?
Sticking with it, sticking with it, I think is
Oh, really?
probably the hardest thing, because it can get quite demoralizing, I think, at times, especially when maybe you go to a gig that's not well attended, or when it comes to depending on um, the money that you're getting from gigging as a musician to fuel your life. If maybe you do something that you're expecting to make a little bit more money and it just simply didn't happen, that can be really tough. Um, and I've had things that have happened where the way that I'm performing, the music that I'm doing
Mm,
isn't received, like I kind of had said before, like a little bit more of this sad style of music, and it just not be received. It almost, it's like a stab to the gut because it feels like a part of you. It feels like a part of you that you're sharing. And when you're being that vulnerable and it's not necessarily received, it can be very hard. Um, so I think being a musician, pursuing trying to make a living as a musician is really a labor of love. And especially when I've come from the world of a lot more stability, a lot more financial stability, it's really easy to look back and think, oh, isn't that so much
simpler.
easier? It's
Yeah.
simpler, easier, but at the same time, there was like a sense of deadness in what I was doing. Whereas this, it's just constantly evolving, and
Well, that's
you
it.
end up getting those glimmers of hope sometimes. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you have to remind yourself why you're doing it. So, which leads me to a happier question of
Hmm.
what's your favorite part of
Yeah.
being a musician? What are the bits that do keep you going?
Um, well, I would say it is the
Mm,
energy exchange sometime that you get between you and the audience, and I get that in a number of different ways in the way that I'm going about my musician career right now. So there's one where I'm rocking out with my band and we're having a great ass time and people are just vibing with us. They're having a lot of fun. There's that sort of energy exchange, which is awesome. But something else that I do is I play music in nursing homes.
Oh wow.
And the joy that that brings people, sometimes I think they're my greatest audiences. And I will remind myself a lot of times on days when I'm doing something like that, that people are getting something from what I'm doing. A lot of times I'll have people come to me and say that it brought them back to a certain time. I remember I was singing Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, and someone came up to me. This was in one of my they prefer to be called assisted living facilities. Let me set the record straight there. And a woman came up to me and told me that she had recently lost her husband, and that song really made her think of him and it
Oh.
brought her back to that. And yeah, it was really sweet. I had to like really stop myself from crying. And then sometimes they'll be singing along with me, and I play in memory care facilities as well. And it's always very interesting to see these people respond to the music and see their eyes light up to see them sing along to songs with me.
Mm.
And that's when I always remind myself that it's not just for me. I've been given this talent for whatever reason, if it means something, if it doesn't. And I think it would almost be selfish to not share it, because a lot of times it does more for other people than maybe it does for me. And so I'm fortunate that I get to do something that I really enjoy and love doing most times, because sometimes I will be honest, I go up there and I'm like, okay, am I really doing this again? But uh, more often than not, the experience of performing and getting to share my music does a lot for me, and it does a lot for other people I know as well.
I've seen some of your videos of you playing live, and it looks like there's high energy and you're all having fun.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
we have a good time. I don't hate jumping up on top of a bar and singing and getting the crowd really going.
Yeah, I was just struggling to picture that in a assisted living place.
That one's more, it's more low key. I'm singing Frank Sinatra, Stevie Wonder. It's almost like the two sides of me as a musician, though, me as a person. It's I have these really just
Mm.
kind, tender, sweet, wholesome sides of me, and that comes out when I'm singing at the nursing home. And then I get into a Irish pub on a Saturday night, and boy, am I going crazy. And it's me as a person, it's me as a
Mm.
musician. Different sides and parts of me.
Yeah, all these different experiences must have definitely helped to shape you. Um, where
Yeah,
where
definitely.
has been your favourite place to play? Because it looks like you've been touring in lots of different places. Am I right in thinking you've come to England?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, I just did my first international tour in March. So I guess you just missed it. I'm
Yes,
so
I
unfortunate.
know.
Where do you live there?
I'm not far from London. It's easy to say that. But yeah.
Man, you just missed us. Yeah, we did two shows in London, one in Manchester, one in Coventry, which I know everyone said to me, we are going to Coventry, and
It's a bit
I'm not
different,
going to
yeah.
knock Coventry here because they were great, but um, and then one in Amsterdam. Um, and so I would say. Also, side note, I think we're going to be coming back next year, so I'll
Oh,
have to let you
great.
know when
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
when we're coming. So maybe you can catch a show. Um, we played at the Spice of Life there, and that show really sticks out to me because it was the convergence of one, everything that could go wrong with that tour did, and we still pulled it off regardless. And so that was the first show of the trip. So, one, it was everything that I'd been working on for the past 6 months to make that happen. Two, it was the oh my gosh, I'm playing an original music show internationally. International audiences are listening to my music. So it was the childhood dream come true. And it was us pulling it off and us making it happen, the energy of that experience is something that really sticks with me for one of the best shows I think that I've ever had. Um, so I would say that, but then there's also just playing back here in San Diego. One of our monthly residencies we have is at an Irish pub, and we've got carte blanche. We can do pretty much whatever the heck we want, and we have a lot of fun doing that. Um, and they were one of our first kind of routine gigs that we got here in San Diego as well. So shout out to Patrick's Gaslamp Pub. If you're listening to this in the UK, if you're listening to this wherever and you come to San Diego, they've been a live music venue for, God, I don't even know, long time. But I've had people say, "Oh man, I used to go back there in the '70s or something like that." So
Wow.
they're
They're a
they're
big
a
deal.
really fun place. Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. They have music pretty much every night of the week. They also pay musicians pretty well, which is awesome given what it's like to live as a musician. So I got to shout out them as well because they're also really fun place for us to play, and we love going there each month.
That's every month, is it? Wow,
Yep,
that's great.
yep. The one place in San Diego, Gaslamp, that you can see Celina Rescott and the Embers once a month doing our who knows what, and you can come request songs. We'll probably try to figure it out. Some of our best stuff has come, or some of our best covers have come from songs that people have just requested, and we're like, sure, yeah, we'll figure it out. And then it's like, wait, the guys, that was pretty awesome. That was great. Good job.
So that leads quite well on to. I like to ask how you finish a set. It's the wild card to finish with.
Mm. Okay, so we were for some time, which we haven't done this in a while. Um, so now that I'm thinking about it, this is our next show that we're going to have in May, which is this coming week. Oh, we're not going to have the full Embers until next week, where we're playing at this other bar that's really fun, which is where I did my first crowd surf. So I'm actually looking forward to it. It's going to be like the first show with all the Embers assimilated again. So anyways, when we were just the four of us, what we would do is we would take my song Nights Like These, our song, because we've like changed it up to make it a full band piece. And I think this came out when we went. It did. So we went on our first Northeast tour last year, because I'm from New York originally. And I was like, we're going to Boston. Oh no, it says reconnecting.
Oh,
Okay.
I can hear you.
It
all
might
right.
have cut there for a sec. I'm back. Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
So we were going to Boston. All right, perfect. And I was like, well, guys, we gotta play Shipping Up to Boston when we go to Boston. It's very cliche, but we've got to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so what we ended up doing was we would play Nights Like These, and then right before the end, where we kind of rock out, it would just be a break. And then all of a sudden, so we mashed up my song with Shipping Up to Boston, in that, and then we would come back in with the final ending of it, and it's so fun. Now anyone is gonna think, if they ever see this and come to our show, like, oh, are they gonna do it? Maybe, I don't know, but that was always something fun that we were doing for some time. We also mashed it up with Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, as well. So we've done that a couple of times. And so that's always been a really fun finisher. And I think I'm going to have to tell the boys we're going to bring that back this month because we haven't done it in so long. We started finishing a little bit with My Worst Enemy because that one has a pretty killer, like rocked out ending as well. Because typically, if we're playing a cover gig, people really want the high energy sort of thing happening. Whereas nights like these, it has like a very slow start and it's piano driven. It's a little bit more somber at the beginning. But that being said, there is something to not giving people what they want every time and just leaving them sort of wanting. And if they do stick around till the end of that song, they are going to be very surprised. So I think I'm gonna say Nights Like These with the mashup in there is probably my favorite. And there's my very long-winded answer once again.
No, brilliant. So, would I be able to find a version of Nights Like These online? Are there a few different live
Yes, you
versions?
can. You will not find it mashed up.
No, okay.
You will find two separate versions of it. There is the full band version that we released with the EP, and then there is also just the solo acoustic version that I have of it, which is just me playing the piano and singing it because it was actually the first song that I ever recorded. And it was recorded in a studio on a grand piano, and that was my first time ever recording a song and putting something into production. So each versions of it have a really special component for me. And I couldn't say that I prefer one or the other, but
But to see,
have a listen if you want to cry to the solo version.
but to see the mashup, you gotta see you live. Yeah.
You've got to see us live if you want to see a mashed up version of that.
So, what are your future plans? What have you got coming up for the rest of the year?
So we have a couple gigs lined up here. So the way I think of things is we have original shows and then we also have our cover gigs that we do. Um, you make the money as a cover artist, let's be real. But we get to, throw our original music into those sets as well. So it's really nice and it's cool to give people the chance to hear some of the stuff that we can do in those sets when they're already sort of primed to, all right, cool, we like this band, they're fun. And then it's like, all right, we throw in a little bit of screaming my name and they're like, whoa, that was kind of groovy, like that. So we have a bunch of those cover gigs lined up, which is how we'll make our money as a band to then fund any of the stuff that we're doing outside of that, which is going to be later on this year. Late summer, we're going to go back over to the East Coast and play a few shows over there. There's this one really cool opportunity that we found last year. In New Hampshire, there is a big, huge amphitheater there, and they have these big bands that come through and tour. And there's a side stage where they have local bands or whatever. We're not local, but we've got the opportunity last year to play on that side stage ahead of the big show. So this year we get the opportunity to play on that stage
Wow.
before the Fray, which is going to be really cool.
Wow, yeah,
So yeah, the
that's
Fray is
awesome.
back. Who knew? Yeah. So we'll be going over there at the end of the summer, playing on that stage, and then we're going to play in Boston again as well with some local bands at the Cantab Lounge, and then we're also going to be playing in mine and my drummer's hometown in Syracuse, New York, playing a show there at Funk and Waffles. And then we're maybe lining up another gig within there, still kind of working on that, but that'll be happening at the end of this summer. And then we have some tentative plans to come back to the UK and Europe at the beginning of next year. So amidst all of that, we have another song that we just finished that we're going to be sending into production. We have a cover song that's been a long time in the works. That's going to be our own version, our own take on it. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but that'll also be heading into production. So performing music, writing music, releasing music, all the things that a band
Brilliant.
should be doing, and we're doing.
It all sounds really exciting.
Yeah,
Good to be busy. Good to be very busy.
it is. And I do stay quite busy.
Right, so the recording is still going well. So so we might come to my final section whilst we're still running. I've got 5 quick fire questions.
Oh boy.
Just-
Oh, you did not prepare me for
No,
these ones,
which-
audience listeners.
So these are just a bit of fun to get to know you a bit more as well. So
Okay, I'm ready.
the first one is, what is the first song that you ever loved? So the first song that you can remember getting you into music. You sort of think back to your childhood, you heard that song and then started playing the piano.
Oh my gosh, that's so hard to say. I feel like I'm not going to be able to say a single song,
It
but
could
I'm
be an
just going to
album or
say
something.
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion in
I'm going
general.
to say Celine Dion. I always put her CD in the CD player. I would listen to her on road trips. I always loved Celine Dion,
Okay.
but I don't think I could choose a single song. Maybe I'm Alive, like that's a cool one. But yeah, Celine Dion is going to be the
Yeah, that's fine.
bottom line.
Sometimes it's just a feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
The second one, what is a dream venue of yours to play?
Oh my god, I got stopped there because I'm like, I don't want to put it out there because what if I never get to do it? Carnegie Hall, for whatever reason, and I think I imagine it as a me on a grand piano kind of performance would be really cool. So this is manifesting it out into the world that I'm going to play Carnegie Hall someday.
Exactly.
And if I don't, well, oh well. At least I tried.
People in England always say Wembley Stadium. That's the big one over here.
Where is that? I mean, I imagine it's a stadium, not like concert hall sort of style.
No, yeah, it's just a massive stadium. It's the biggest one in the country.
All right, well, I'm gonna play there too. Yeah,
for your international tour.
Yes.
Who is an artist that you'd love to open for? So at Wembley.
Oh, okay. There actually is this band that I've been keeping up with for quite some time now, and they're called Melt. So Melt, if you listen to this podcast, I would love to open for you. I know you're opening for Sammy Ray and Friends here in San Diego, but when you guys go on your tour, please use me as your opener. They are so cool. They're funky. Her voice is absolutely incredible. And that's always the kind of artist that I tend to navigate towards is those kind of really powerhouse women. But I'm going to put a secondary one in there because she's also doing her own thing now, Hayley Williams. Hayley Williams, if you ever hear this, I would love to open for you too. So either of those are just dreams. Right. Those two.
Oh, I've not heard of Melt. I'll have to check them out.
Oh, check them out. They're so cool. So cool. Little like indie vibes, but they are amazing.
So 2 to go. The next one is a studio or live performance. So kind of what do you prefer, the creation side in the studio?
Oh, live performance all day, any day.
I thought you might say that one. Yeah. And finally, a song that you wish you'd written. There's a lot.
Oh, that's so hard.
There's a lot. You could pick any that would make you a lot of money, but one that would fit into your set quite well.
You know, I'm gonna say La Vie en Rose. I think Edith Piaf originally wrote it with somebody else, is what I believe I know is the writing of it, but I do it all the time and I love it, and it's really good for my voice, and it's in French. I wish I could have written that. It's a phenomenal song, and so many people have done it over and over again. So yeah, I'm gonna say La Vie en Rose.
Okay, I've not heard that either. You've given.
Oh really?
You've given me. Maybe I've heard it.
The people of Spice of Life in Soho, and I think we did it actually at our other ones. We love mashups. We really took them for a loop. We were like, we're an American band. You're going to see what we do. And we actually decided this, I think, literally the day before the show. But I was like, guys, what if we did La Vie en Rose with My Neck, My Back? If you know that song.
You've given me an education today.
Some of the listeners are going to know exactly what that song is, and you're going to go listen to it, and you're going to be like, interesting choice. Well, that's what we do. We keep people on their feet. They never know what's coming next.
Well, it's been good fun talking to you. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Matt. It's been wonderful chatting with you. I appreciate the opportunity and thank you for giving voices to us independent artists
Of
out
course.
here.
Thank you so much. Good luck with everything you've got this year, and hopefully catch you at a gig sometime soon.
Thank you. Yes, I will absolutely let you know when we are going to be in your neck of the woods across the pond again.
Great, thank you. I'm never good at ending these things, so I